Good evening, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us here April 6th at 5:30. This is a pretty exciting town hall meeting for us. It's so exciting to see so many faces here and also so many people signed up for presentations. As you know, this is your opportunity to speak to the board, to speak to your local government, to talk about needs, concerns, feedback. So we appreciate you showing up here today. It really does make a difference. One thing that you're going to see up here is that we have the agenda up on the board so that you can somewhat see it. Maybe I need to adjust my eyes or focus it, but that's okay. But what we're going to try to do is get away from the paper copies that are here and go to what is projected up here, trying to be a little bit more conscious of saving the earth when we can. So every piece of paper matters, and here with Arbor Day is super important. So I appreciate your understanding, and please provide any feedback or questions as you have them. We're going to get started. I'm going to ask Mr. Wes Thomas up for our invocation.
Let us pray. Father God, we just want to say thank you right now, Lord. We want to take this opportunity and thank you for all your grace and your mercy that you show us, Lord, for our many blessings that we've been given by your hands, Lord. And we just ask right now, Lord, that we would be humble tonight, that we would be open tonight, that we would be receptive, that we would have discernment and wisdom and understanding as we conduct the town's business, Lord. And we just thank you, like I said, for your love and kindness and your mercy and your grace. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And please, if you are able to stand, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are going to start with our citizens' presentations, and we've got a good group here today. We're going to start with Josephine Horn. If you'll please come up. Say your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Josephine Horn. I reside at 4381 Sharp Point Road, Fountain. I am here to speak on behalf of the historic HB Suggs School. The HB Suggs School, not too many people in Farmville don't know that they're there and what they have been there for. I have been a part of that building and trying to get it back to where it was, because even after it was not being used for a regular school, it was turned into a daycare with many, many other programs. And when I think of it and trying to get back to where we were, or get the building back to where we were, I think of the sentence, the power of togetherness. And that is exactly what is needed between the historic HB Suggs Community Center and the town of Farmville. I know that togetherness can be applied to so many things, but I'm speaking towards programming and ideas and working together, and what one person might come up with, another person may never ever thought of it, that may be just what's needed. So I am so very happy to know that we will be working together, because I will be there till the end. And I certainly do hope that real soon that building be busy like it have been in the past, because it's needed for the children. It's really needed. And other adults. There were so many other programs there as well. I thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Hi. Shakora Woodland, also speaking about the same topic, the HB Suggs School. Just wanted to talk about the significance of the school in my life specifically. Started off with my mom doing community service there and volunteering there. Also working with Miss Joyce Wilkes, starting off with tutoring children there from the after school program. It's very important. There's many opportunities there for people starting from a young age to even an older age. There's daycare, there's the after school program that we had for school age children. Also there was computer room, the gym, just building the community for the school, and also having people from different areas of our specific community coming together and getting to know people and collaborating with different people in our community. It was one of my first job. Well, it was my first job, and also it built me wanting to be around children. And I'm currently a social worker now, so being in the HB Suggs School and being able to work with smaller kids to young adolescents really built my career path. Also, for the elderly specifically, we had the benevolent ministries, and we still have that, I believe. Basically the food bank. I also had a chance to volunteer with that while I was going through my BSW program, and just being able to build those bags for the elderly families and pass those out. I just feel like the HB Suggs School has a lot to offer for everyone of all ages in our community.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jameer Jones, and I'm also with Ms. Josephine Horn and Ms. Shakora. And I want to talk about my personal experience with HB Suggs, and I'm now 18 years old. I've been going to HB Suggs since I was, a newborn, and how it has affected my life, and how I was young and I was able to, go to the activities that the HB Suggs has to offer. And now I've been 18 and I'm, going into transitioning into adulthood, I'm now able to advocate and use my voice for the HB Suggs Community School, and how we see that there's a lot that could be done there, and we see that the things and the ideas that we want to have, that we want to do to take it further, and with y'all help, it will be much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Kimberly Dixon. Is Kimberly Dixon?
Good afternoon. I honestly put my name on the sheet at the wrong time. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. That's exactly what I did, so please forgive me. I thought it was a sign-in. I did do it wrong. However, I do have something to say. I am here to represent with the HB Suggs Community Center. So I am here, so I'm going to say it. HB Suggs Community Center is a place that I am not from Farmville. However, I am very close to a lot of people. I go to church here. I've been in Farmville for 30 years going to church, so I feel like I am a part of Farmville. I'm originally from another county, but Farmville is my home as well. My mother was one of the people that helped with the HB Suggs Community Center. Some of the people that have spoken before me were at the daycare center when HB Suggs was a daycare center, and she worked along with Ms. Horn, Mr. and Mrs. Wilkes, helping with the daycare center, the after-school program, and the summer program that they had. It was very beneficial to several people as far as that portion was concerned. I mean, they had lots and lots of activities going on for the Farmville community, and I think that it would be a great idea for you all to continue to support the HB Suggs Community Center. So those other two people behind, please take them off. Those are my two children, nieces, and I thought we had a sign-in sheet. That's my honesty, and I say let's support the HB Suggs Community Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Ashton Dixon? Okay, so we had Carlton Harper. And please tell everyone your address, name and address, please.
My name is Carlton Harper, and I went to HB Suggs for 11 years, and my 12th year I went to Farmville Central, one of the first graduates. And I know a lot about Farmville because I was raised up here, my grandmother, my mother, and we struggled. We had a hard, rough time, but we still here. And this year, I'll be 72 years old. To God be the glory. Absolutely. And a lot I could say about HB Suggs, the old school, and to when we was integrated. We was integrated in 70 or 71, but a lot had went on. We went through our struggles, but to God be the glory. And when I say to God be the glory, if it had not been for God on our side, we wouldn't be where we are now. But like I was saying, I met my wife here in Farmville, and I met her when I was about 17 and she was 15. And you know what? This year we'll be together 50 years.
There you go.
And I like to say that Farmville needs HB Suggs, the old school. And with my input, I'm going to give everything that I can do towards that in Jesus' name. Y'all pray for me.
Thank you. Yvonne Harper.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yvonne Harper. I live at 1978 King Drive, Greenville, North Carolina, but I went to school at the old historic HB Suggs. I have very fond memories. I went to HB Suggs when I was, I guess, started at 5 or 6, and my uncles would walk me to school because we lived on George Street. And my grandmother, she said I was too little to walk by myself. So they would walk me to school, and a couple years ago they told me that my grandmother, she tricked them, or she talked them into walking me to school by giving them a chicken and something else to take home to the mother. So I really didn't remember, them walking me every day, but it holds special memories, and going across the railroad track and the band and everything. It was just wonderful, a wonderful school that I am so very proud of, and I hope that we can do all we can so that it can be a blessing to other kids, the different programs that we may have there, the ideas that you come up there. So I stand before you speaking about something that was many, many years ago. I was like 6 or 7 years old. I stand before you at 69 today. So HB Suggs hold a very special place. And y'all look like some very intelligent men. I know y'all gonna work it out. We're gonna pray for you anyhow. So thank you. And everybody else, just don't call them, because we did the same thing. We did a sign-up list, and I'm just talking from the top of my head, so I hope that I made sense to you. But it is a very, very important place for the African community, African-American community, and it's very dear to our hearts. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you. Laura Carver. Absolutely.
My name is Laura Carver, and I live at 4008 Davis Circle. At this time, there's not a fence around the splash pad, and with being so close to the roads, as you see, and personally having a son with autism, I cannot bring him to the town splash pad by myself. I have to travel to neighboring towns, Wilson, Tarboro, Washington, that all their splash pads are fenced in for the safety of my grandson. The safety of our children must always be this council's highest priority, and installing a fence around the town splash pad is a simple and effective step that directly supports that commitment. But most importantly, it gives parents, caregivers, grandparents confidence that the town is taking proactive measures to keep our children safe. By approving this fence, the council reinforces its dedication to creating a safe, responsible, family-friendly environment for everyone who uses this community space. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much. Shalisha Baker?
Good afternoon, and to be honest, I like Kimberly Dixon signed in at the wrong time, but I also, I don't believe things happen by coincidence, so I just want to say thank you actually to the town of Farmville. I've been in Farmville for 20 years. I've watched what partnership can do. I actually was a recipient of a Habitat for Humanity house. I watched that. That's Raven back there. The town of Farmville knows Raven, but I watched, you know, all races, all types of churches, all denominations. They came together and helped build my house. And because of that, I was able to obtain my bachelor's degree in social work. I worked as a social worker for about 15 years. I now work as a supervisor with the Guardian Ad Litem program, working with all facets of families. I am currently, how I chose to become a member of the Bible Way Holiness Church was through the H.B. Suggs Center. And what I remembered about the H.B. Suggs Center is when I worked as a social worker, I worked with a lot of at-risk youth, a lot of young girls who had a lot of issues. They had been through a lot of things. And working with I call her Mother Wilkes, but Miss Joyce Wilkes, she allowed a safe space for our girls to volunteer. And even when they would mess up, she would talk to them, and she was able to show that moral character and things to help build them. And some of them have really went on to be successful. So the H.B. Suggs Center is very valuable to the community. Once again, there are multiple people that are working with her, and there are programs and things that we do believe the town of Farmville need. I've seen what the town of Farmville can do when they work together. I'm a product of it. My children are a product of it. My son, he's a nurse in the military. So, like I said, I signed up at the wrong time, but I guess it was meant for me to say that. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. I like that. I like this sign-up sheet being the presentation sheet. It is good. How else are we going to get the voice of our citizens here? So next we're going to go into our town manager, Justin Oaks' comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Board, and everyone. Just a few comments this evening. First, want to recognize the town for its safety reward or safety awards. The North Carolina Department of Labor Safety Awards program recognizes the private and public firms throughout the state that achieve and maintain good safety practices, as evidenced by low incidents of accidents and maintaining good safety records. Over 5,000 public and private employers are considered for these awards each year, and later this month the town of Farmville will be recognized for several awards, which include in the administrative department, which includes town hall, the library, recreation, the May Museum. They will receive a gold award for the 9th year. The public works department will also be receiving a gold award for the 9th year. Police department will be receiving a gold award for the first year, and the utility department will be receiving a silver award for the first year. And there will be a ceremony a little bit later this month that there'll be some town staff in attendance for to receive those awards.
Can we take a moment to give a round of applause to those winners there and the department heads who helped make that happen? Thank you so much for what you do for this town. You really make this town continue to work, and to be acknowledged for that is incredible. So we really appreciate the work that you put in every day and night, because this isn't an 8-hour a day job. Many of these workers are here 24/7 to help support the needs of this community, so we thank you.
Next up is a bicycle helmet grant initiative. Received an email this afternoon from our Parks and Recreation Director, Christopher Horgan. The town has been awarded a 2026 NCDOT bicycle helmet initiative grant. The department will receive 20 bicycle helmets to be distributed in the community. Just found out about this afternoon, so we'll get with Christopher to find out how the distribution will work on that. But we were excited to hear that we did receive that grant. Just a quick update on the downtown signage project. As you all recall, back at I believe our January meeting, we had representatives from the Greenville ENC Alliance here with us. The town had received a $10,000 grant for wayfinding signage in the downtown area, as well as some street cap signs, designating our historic downtown. We have finalized the signs, and they should be going into production this week. Once we have those in, we'll be beginning the process of installing those. So hopefully here within the next month or so, we'll begin to see those here in town. And then finally, just a reminder of the 37th Annual Dogwood Festival. That'll be going on later this month, taking place April 23rd through the 26th. The events will include the One Price Ride Night on Thursday, the opening ceremonies on Friday. Apologies. She's here. The Dogwood Bash featuring Parley on Saturday night, and then finally Sunday we'll wrap up with Farmville's Got Talent. Of course, there'll be many more events going on each day throughout the festival as well. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Town Manager?
I do have a... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's too late, whatever. I didn't know about a sign and all that.
She should speak later. Yeah, we can get you on the agenda a little bit later. There's another comment period we can get you in on.
Okay. We have a comment from Commissioner.
Justin, I would like to, for the bicycle helmet initiative, I would like to add another 20 to 25 helmets to that initiative as a donation. So I'll be getting with Chris Horgan on that. To make sure that he...
Any other questions, comments, statements? Okay. Each of our commissioners have received the financial update and budget in their packet. Any questions? Seeing none, and moving on. So we do have some changes and additions, deletions to our agenda for today. I'm going to turn it over to Town Manager Justin Oakes to provide us those updates.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Board members, on your desk when you arrive this evening, there are two additions to tonight's agenda. The first being a proclamation declaring April as Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month in Farmville. Proposing to add that to the agenda as item 5 under special presentations. And then also there was this would be under items for discussion and decision. There is an amendment to the interlocal tax collection agreement between Pitt County and the town of Farmville. I would propose that we would add that under the items for discussion and decision as item 12.
Do we have a motion to add the proclamation for Autism Awareness Month in the special presentations, as well as the amendment for interlocal full tax collection agreement discussion in the items for discussion decision?
I make a motion that we add those two items to the agenda.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Fields. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. The agenda has been adjusted. Thank you so much, Commissioners. Now we get into special presentations. This is a really busy month for us and an exciting month here in the town of Farmville. So I do ask you to bear with us here as we go through this. And I'm going to ask if Angie Bates, our library director, will step up here. So I will say, I started today thinking that I was going to an egg hunt, a birthday celebration for the library, and then what they called an egg escape room. What I did not know is that I was going to be putting on a inflatable chicken costume. It gets better. And then running around and doing a egg toss with plastic eggs filled with flour. So joke was certainly on me at the end of that egg toss. The kids are way better at this than I am. But what I heard overall from the many, many families that were there that came up far from outside of living here in Farmville is that we have the best library that there is in Eastern North Carolina. And a building is only one part of it. It's a beautiful building. It can accommodate a lot of things, but it takes the planning, the people, the programming behind it. So what you have done and been able to pull together, and the incredible staff, every single one of them deserves to be up here and acknowledged as well, is absolutely amazing. So we appreciate the work that you do, and I'm incredibly excited here today as we talk about our proclamation here in the town of Farmville for National Poetry Month. National Poetry Month, whereas the Academy of American Poets established the month of April of National Poetry Month in 1996, and whereas National Poetry Month seeks to highlight the extraordinary legacy and ongoing achievement of American poets, introduce Americans to the pleasures and benefits of reading poetry, bring poets and poetry to the public in immediate and innovative ways, and make poetry an important part of our children's education. And whereas National Poetry Month, under the leadership and direction of the Academy of American Poets, is now the largest literary celebration in the world. And whereas poetry enhances and enriches the lives of all Americans, and whereas poetry, as the essential part of the arts and humanities, affects every aspect in Americans' life today, including education, the economy, and community pride and development, and whereas poetry has produced some of the nation's leading creative artists and has inspired other artists in fields such as music, theater, film, dance, and visual arts. Now, therefore, I, Alex L. Joyner, Mayor of Farmville, North Carolina, do proclaim April 1st through April 30th, 2026 as National Poetry Month. I call upon public officials, educators, librarians, and all of the people of Farmville, North Carolina to observe this month to celebrate the culture's riches, the cultural riches our community has to offer, and to recognize the important role of poetry in creating and sustaining this great nation with appropriate ceremonies, activities, and programs. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to bring my water up here for this. We got a couple of these to go. This is going to be for our Arbor Day. I'm going to ask Wes Thomas to step up here. Wes has been essential in what you see here. So this is our 46th year as being acknowledged as a Tree City USA here in the town of Farmville, which is absolutely impressive. It does not happen overnight. And Wes, how long have you been working here? 21 years. 21 years. So he has had an incredible amount of influence over that happening here. So we greatly appreciate, Wes, all that you do here. So thank you. Today, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, I know that's all a concern of ours right now, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property value, enhance the economical vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Farmville has been recognized as a Tree City USA by National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Alex L. Joyner, Mayor of the town of Farmville, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the town of Farmville, and do urge all citizens to support efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program. And further, I urge all citizens to plant a tree to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of present and future generations. This day, April the 24th, which will be April 24th, 2026. Thank you so much for all that you do. We really appreciate it. And I know that I missed this when I was talking earlier, and I know that I told Ms. Bates she's going to get an opportunity to talk about the events that are coming. Oh, she said no. Coming up in the library, there are some great events coming up. If she won't, I will. I know April 18th, we do have an opportunity for Arbor Day to celebrate that at the library at 12 p.m. I believe there's going to be a gathering. You're going to have an opportunity to support your fellow residents in planting a lemon tree. And we're going to also get to make lemonade flavored of your choice. So please don't miss that opportunity there. As well as there may be, inflatable chickens and things like that coming, so you never know. Child Abuse Prevention Month. We're going to ask our friends there at Teddy Bear to step up here. Thank you so much. Before I speak on this, I'm going to give the group here an opportunity to talk about what they do here, not only as an organization, but how that affects the lives here in the town of Farmville. So please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Noemi Rivera. I'm the director of Teddy Bear Children's Advocacy Center, and I get the privilege of leading the team that has been there, a part of ECU and ECU Health since 1992, where we serve children and families who are affected by child abuse. So last year alone, we saw close to 1,000 children who have an open case, and we see children at the request of law enforcement and child protective services. And if you can imagine, since 1992, it's been over 25,000 children that have come through our clinic doors. We also have our location in Mount Olive. And we work, like I said, alongside law enforcement, child protective services. We have mental health providers, medical advocates, and prosecution, and I'm probably missing a couple more. But we do this for children, and we cannot do this without you all, without the town of Farmville and all of Eastern North Carolina. And by what you can do is knowing the signs. If you see something, say something, make a report to law enforcement or child protective services. If you suspect a child is being abused, you do not need to know for sure. You do not need to investigate. You don't need to have evidence. But it is our requirement in the state of North Carolina to make a report. So that's what I'm asking you all today to, if you know or see something, make a report. And if you want to learn more about it, please visit our website. We do have a course that is called Stewards of Children, Darkness to Light, that we offer at no cost. And we're happy to provide that to any churches, groups, anybody. So thank you so much, and we appreciate you all having us here today.
Thank you. So when you leave today, depending on which time that is, or if you drive by at night, you're going to see that the gazebo out here is lit up in blue. And I'm going to ask you if you can tell us a little bit about what that means for us.
Absolutely, and I saw the pinwheels as well as I pulled up. So traditionally, we've had pinwheels, and you've seen pinwheels at different locations that represent and bring awareness to child abuse prevention. But last year, an initiative started where we're shining light on child abuse. So lots of towns and organizations throughout Eastern North Carolina and all of North Carolina are lighting up blue to bring light to this really important subject. And we're extremely grateful for Farmville for taking the step. Like I said, I saw the pinwheels and also lighting blue for the next couple of days again so we can shine light on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Child Abuse Prevention Month, whereas Teddy Bear Children's Advocacy, which stands for Tender Evaluation, Diagnosis, and Intervention for a Better Abuse Response, is the largest children's advocacy center in North Carolina and is accredited to provide a full spectrum of assessments, treatment, education, and prevention for children up to 18 years old who may have been victims of child abuse or neglect. And whereas founded in 1992, the center is a partnership between the Department of Pediatrics and the Brody School of Medicine at East Carolina University and the James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital at ECU Medical Center in Greenville, North Carolina, serving children and families throughout Pitt County and the surrounding region. And whereas April is Child Abuse Prevention Month in North Carolina, a time to shine a light on prevention by using blue lights, displaying pinwheels, and supporting local children's advocacy centers. And whereas the town of Farmville will shine a light, lighting our gazebo blue on the town commons the week of April 6th in support of Child Abuse Prevention Month. And now, therefore, I, Alex L. Joyner, of Farmville, North Carolina, do proclaim April 1st through April 30th, 2026 is Child Abuse Prevention Month in Farmville, North Carolina. This day, the 6th of April, 2026. Thank you so much for everything you do. We really appreciate it here. Thank you so much. National Volunteer Month. I'm going to ask Jamie Markham and Tammy Matus to step up here with me. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm going to give us a moment to talk about what you do here for the town of Farmville.
So if anybody's on Friends of Farmville and if anybody has heard the name, sorry, I'm not tall enough, Jamie or Tammy, you have seen a lot of posts on the Friends of Farmville Facebook page about feral cats. So we are the ladies behind that, where we go out and we do what's called TNR, which stands for Trap, Neuter, and Return. To date, we've been doing this for about 3 years now, and to date we have successfully trapped, neutered, and returned 350 cats around the town of Farmville. It's something that I think started as where we noticed a need. We started with 1 or 2, and then it quickly snowballed from there. But a big thanks to the town for supporting all of our efforts in every way, shape, or form, and a big thanks to everybody in the community who allow us to feed the cats, to take care of them, to trap them. Just really appreciate everybody's involvement. Anything else?
Please.
So the cats are very important, but so are the people. In this journey that we've been doing together, we've also stumbled across people with needs, elderly people who are going without food for themselves. They will put out food for the cats. And we do receive donations from time to time, and we do supply people here in town with cat food. So it's a win-win situation. So I always say it's a little bit funny how the cats and the people have overlapped, but we are definitely providing a lot of loving service for the town and its people, not just the cats.
Thank you so much. The work that you do is often done in the dead of night when no one sees it, and it's often a thankless job that you do, but we here see it, and we want everyone else to recognize the work you do. So here on this month, the National Volunteer Month, whereas volunteers are vital to the strength, resilience, and spirit of the town of Farmville, dedicating their time, talents, and compassion to improve the quality of life for all residents, and whereas throughout the year, volunteers in Farmville support community events, civic organizations, schools, churches, public safety efforts, beautification initiatives, and numerous programs that enhance our town. Whereas the generosity of volunteers helps to foster a culture of service, unity, and pride while strengthening connections amongst neighbors and encouraging community engagement. And whereas National Volunteer Month provides an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the individuals and groups who selflessly give their time and energy to serve others. And whereas the town of Farmville is grateful for the many volunteers who contribute to parks and recreation programs, community cleanups, festivals, boards and committees, youth mentorships, and countless other initiatives. And whereas volunteerism inspires others to become involved, build leadership, and creates a lasting positive impact that benefits present and future generations in Farmville. And whereas it is fitting that we honor and thank all volunteers whose commitment and dedication help make Farmville a welcoming, vibrant, and thriving community. Now, therefore, I, Alex L. Joyner, Mayor of the town of Farmville, North Carolina, do here proclaim April 2026 as National Volunteer Month in the town of Farmville and encourage all citizens to recognize, celebrate, and support volunteers and consider giving their own time and service to our community. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Ashanti Williams to come up here. Farmville would not be the same without the service that you provide here. And that's not just for the town of Farmville, but you know that's for the surrounding communities and everywhere else. I'm going to give you a moment to talk about your organization and what you do here.
I had to write it down because if not, I'll talk forever. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Ashanti Williams, and I am the founder of An Autistic Dream Incorporated here in Farmville. I stand before you today not as just a leader of a nonprofit, but as a parent, an advocate, and a voice for families in our community who are often unheard. April is Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. This month is more than wearing blue or sharing posts. It is about recognizing real people, real families, and real needs right here in Farmville. Nationally, 1 in 36 families and children are diagnosed with autism. When you bring those numbers close to home in our community, that is 1 in every 4 out of 5 classrooms are affected by autism or a developmental difference. At Farmville Elementary Schools here alone, there are 15 students in a self-contained classroom. Out of those students, 9 of them have autism. This means nearly every child in our community either has autism, knows someone who does, or is directly impacted by it as a family member. We created our Sensory Resource Center to fill the gap that was previously not met. We have the ability to help children play, learn, and simply be accepted in our center. For many families, we are often a place where their child is not judged or excluded. Here in Farmville, we also use the color blue, which just happened to be us that put out the pinwheels to light it up blue in Farmville, and it also does stand for Child Abuse Month. And not many people know this, but our special needs children are often the ones that are abused. So like they said, if you see something, say something. So it's ironic, we were both here tonight to, shine our light, which is blue. And I just want to say thank you to all of our supporters here in Farmville. And if you can stop by on April 18th, we're having our big autistic awareness event. The community is invited. It's free. We'll have resource vendors, and it's just a good time to come out and show the community that we're all accepted and that we're all included in our own different ways.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I wish we could take credit. Ashanti was the one who went out and put the pinwheels out there, but you know what? It gets attention for two causes, and we will take the win there, absolutely. Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. Whereas autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmental disability that can cause significant social, communication, and behavioral challenges with signs that begin during childhood and typically continue through a person's life. And whereas many people with ASD also have different ways of learning, processing information, and interacting with or reacting to things. And whereas autism vary greatly from person to person, with no two people being alike. And whereas Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month emphasizes the need for public awareness to promote acceptance, celebrate the differences, and prioritize the inclusion of autistic individuals and their families. And whereas we celebrate the many ways autistic individuals add to the diversity and strength of our community, while raising awareness to the challenges faced by children, teens, and adults on the autism spectrum and living their full potential. Now, therefore, I, Alex L. Joyner, Mayor of Farmville, North Carolina, do proclaim April as Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month in Farmville, North Carolina. This day, the 6th of April, 2026. Thank you so much for all that you do. And now we will open our public hearing for the funding under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act. I will turn it over to...
And I'll turn it over to...
Oh, there we go. Tag, you're it.
Right? It's okay. Good evening. And, you know, what I've got is...
Will you do me a favor and tell everyone who you are?
Yeah. My name's Rich Moore. I work with McDavid Associates. And since it's Autism Awareness Month, I'm going to encourage everybody to go to Awaken Coffee in Greenville when you have a chance and buy coffee, and help support the autistic kids that work there. And if you're there, say hey to my daughter. She needs all the support she can get. What I've got for you tonight is a financial assistance opportunity. The Division of Water Infrastructure sponsors the Community Development Block Grant Infrastructure Program. And this is a program that's has been created to allocate funds for water and sanitary sewer needs for target areas that are comprised of 51% low moderate income individuals. And the state changed the requirements or the prioritization of that, in that before you could pick target areas and do income surveys to identify pockets of low moderate income individuals, and the state has changed the prioritization so that they want your entire community to be low moderate income as a whole, area-wide, which Farmville is not. And additionally, you can target concentrated communities that specifically comprised of low moderate income individuals, and I'll use the Housing Authority as an example because that's what I'm going to promote for you tonight. So recognizing that opportunity, the state did not get enough applications in September of last year, and so they're having a special application around April 30th of this year to allocate about $10 million of available grant funds. And again, those funds have to be beneficiaries for water and sanitary sewer infrastructure needs to an area that is comprised of at least 51% low moderate income individuals. And based on evaluation of our infrastructure assets, we identified that within the Farmville Housing Authority that we had some aged asbestos cement water lines. And those primary distribution assets are in poor condition. They're leaking. They're problematic with regards to repairs. In addition, the Farmville Housing Authority, the water system originally had a single meter, and then, for lack of a better word, had small diameter water lines that kind of spaghettied out from the back of that meter to serve all the apartments in that area. So that entire area is just a hodgepodge of asbestos cement water line and small diameter plastic lines that now have, meter connections to those small diameter lines. And so, we've looked at that as it's problematic. What we really need to do is to replace those existing water lines, to get rid of those little spaghetti small diameter water lines, transition those water services over to new water lines with new connections to better serve that entire area, not only improving the service to the residents out there, but making it a little easier to operate and maintain for the town. So recognizing that, we propose to seek financial assistance. And as part of that, first step is we've got to have a public hearing, which is what we're going to do here this evening. And after that public hearing, we're going to ask that the town consider, approving a resolution authorizing the filing of an application. So I'm going to briefly go through the minutes, and I certainly apologize, but I'm going to try to whiz through them and then certainly open the floor for public comment. But what we've got is that the town is going to propose to request funding from the CDBGI program for replacement of water system assets that consist of approximately 7,200 feet of 6-inch to 10-inch diameter water lines and appurtenances along Anderson Avenue, Pitt Street, Godwin Drive, Taylor's Turn, and Nick's Nook, which we're describing as the Housing Authority water system improvements. That proposed project will meet the following community and development needs. It will, 1, improve the quality of life for low to moderate income people by providing safe, clean environment and clean drinking water through water and sewer infrastructure improvements and extensions of service. That 2, it will benefit a residential area where at least 51% of the beneficiaries are low to moderate income as defined by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. They will perform eligible activities under the HUD program. They will minimize displacement, which in the infrastructure project there will be no displacement, and provide displacement assistance if it is needed. For the fiscal year of the CDBG infrastructure, funding available is expected to be approximately $10 million, and the maximum available grant is $3 million over a 3-year period. So you can, you could have gotten, you can apply for $1 million this year, $1 million next year, $1 million the following year. Applications for funding are received on April 30th of 2026. The CDBG program can fund a wide variety of community development activities. The state of North Carolina has chosen to fund several activities, which include water and sewer infrastructure, neighborhood revitalization, urgent needs, economic development projects that lead to job creation or retention. The infrastructure program, or CDBGI program, can fund a range of water and sewer infrastructure and economic development activities, which include, but are not limited to, the following: for water projects, projects that resolve water loss and distribution systems, projects that extend public water to areas with contaminated wells, projects that extend water lines to areas with dry wells, projects that assist with low water pressure in public water systems, projects that regionalize 2 or more water systems, and projects that rehabilitate or replace the water treatment plant. For wastewater activities, eligible is projects that involve inflow infiltration to a collection system and surcharges from pumps, stations, and manholes, projects that extend public sewer to areas with failed septic tanks, and projects that rehabilitate a wastewater treatment plant to allow for greater efficiency, compliance with regulations. The town will be seeking an amount in CDBGI funds not to exceed $2 million for the Housing Authority water system improvements. And again, the purpose of that town's request is to replace approximately 7,200 feet of 6-inch to 10-inch diameter water lines, fire hydrants, valves, and services. The project proposed by the town of Farmville was identified in the town's capital improvement plan Informal community meetings have been held to inform citizens of the potential project and get feedback from residents. And we have communicated the proposed activities with Wendy, the director, so that she's aware of what we're proposing, and just wanted to make sure she was okay, because she's going to have to help us with the identifying the percentage of low moderate income folks that we've got out there. Basically, a total of 100% of CDBG infrastructure funding will be used to benefit low moderate income people. The project area in the town of Farmville has been determined to have an income survey area of greater than 90%. Project area includes replacement of approximately 7,200 feet of existing water lines ranging in size from 6-inch to 10-inch diameter, existing valves, hydrants, blow-offs, water services, and appurtenances, providing benefit to all residents within the project target area. Project beneficiary boundary includes a target area within Farmville's corporate limits. The range of activities covered by CDBG infrastructure funds for the project include construction, environmental review, engineering design, construction administration and observation, legal activities, surveying, and grant administration. If the town of Farmville is awarded a CDBG infrastructure grant, the town is going to be required to adhere to its federal government requirements and other federal regulations, which will include completion submittal of environmental review, adoption of American with Disabilities Act, Section 504 survey, Davis-Bacon and related labor acts, adoption submittal of a citizens participation plan, adoption submittal of an equal opportunity plan, adoption submittal of programs procurement policy, adoption submittal of a fair housing plan, which is affirmatively furthering fair housing, adoption submittal of a language access plan, adoption submittal of a relocation assistance plan, adoption submittal of a Section 3 plan to enact excess force provisions to provide acquisition, demolition, uniform relocation act, and to enforce Build America, Buy America provisions. The state of North Carolina requires that if the town of Farmville receives CDBG grant funding, that the town will certify they will comply with the requirements of the general displacement and relocation policy for CDBG grant funding. This policy assists low to moderate income people with costs associated with relocation or displacement should such relocation become necessary due to project activities. CDBG funds can be used for those costs if necessary, and it is confirmed at this public hearing that the project will not result in any displacement activities. In the past, the town has applied for and received and completed CDBG projects, which include prior CDBG infrastructure sanitary sewer improvements projects and multiple small cities program concentrated needs housing rehabilitation programs. The town will submit its CDBG infrastructure funding application for the Housing Authority water system improvements on April 30th, 2026. The CDBG application will be available for review during normal business hours at the Farmville Town Hall, located at 3672 North Main Street, Farmville NC 27828. Additional information is available from the Farmville Town Clerk at 252-753-6715. Should you have any grievances or complaints regarding the subject public hearing, they should be addressed to the addressee mentioned within 15 business days, and a written response to written complaints and or grievances will be sent by the town within 15 business days where practical. And as part of the minute process, because typically you adopt your minutes at your following board meeting, applications are going to be due April 30th, so I don't have time for full approval of your minutes. So what I'm asking for as part of the approval process is that you authorize the mayor to sign or to approve the minutes to this public hearing. So that's a real quick synopsis, but all we've got an opportunity, $2 million, 100% grant money to really further eliminate some aged infrastructure that we know is creating some problems, and really to eliminate some service lines that are probably more of a problem within the housing authority. This will be a significant benefit and really increase the level of service and really what is provided to the residents that are out there. So I think this will be it's a good opportunity. Certainly we'll open up for any public questions or comments or questions that I can attempt to answer.
And Mr. Moore, just to summarize so everyone understands what we're asking for here, is that you are seeking to request the approval to apply for the CDBG-1 funding for $2 million for the Housing Authority water system improvements that will replace approximately 7,200 feet of 6-inch to 10-inch diameter water lines, fire hydrants, valves, and service that is 100% a grant.
Yes.
And of no cost to the town.
That is correct.
Questions from our commissioners?
Will that $2 million cover the complete
Yes, sir.
cost?
Yeah, and I even put a little extra in there because, because I know, because it's so spaghetti back there that we're going to dig up and we're going to find catastrophe and we're going to have to deal with it. So I've tried to cover those costs too. The only thing I can't deal with is the private connections behind the meters. But we will continue to work with Wendy as she identifies any other problems that we got out there. Because all we can really address is Farmville's infrastructure.
So the residents own, you said the meter, it feeds one main meter, and then after that meter, it spaghettis out to all the residents?
Yeah, but now the meters, the town went back and put individual meters on those small diameter mains, so each apartment has a separate meter now.
So you can address everything all the way up to the...
all the way up to the meter.
And I know we've had others, CDB grant, come before us. This one is specifically, you can't go to this grant for other things other than infrastructure. It's only for
the scope that's proposed within the target area. Right. So it's got to be confined to the Farmville Housing Authority, specifically for water system improvements.
Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
And you said you could go back next year and...
Absolutely. We can, there's a $3 million cap. So if we can find something that fits the glove, so to speak, to get back for the next application round, we'll totally do it. When they change the rules in terms of defining the target areas, certainly Housing Authority pops to mind and sewer popped to mind, but we're taking care of that. So, I don't say we had to reach, but we're saying, okay, well, we need to get rid of those asbestos water lines. And, as we've dug out there with the sewer project and found so much of these spaghetti services that it's, this is a problem and this is something that really needs to be prioritized. So this is a good opportunity.
Would the board need to approve it again when you apply next year?
It would have to be a different scope. So if we can develop a scope and apply again in the fall or the spring of next year, we'll have to go through the same process of a public hearing and identifying specific scope for that project as a separate standalone. So yeah, each one will have to be kind of a different project area.
If you don't use all of the $2 million, does that go back for something we can use in a following year?
Technically, it goes back to the state if we don't spend it, and we typically get fussed at if we don't spend it. So
we try to use it.
We typically find something to spend it on. But if we run into the scenario where there is excess funds that are left over after the project is completed, it goes back to the state. And then it just rolls over into the full competitive round, not just earmarked for farm.
And it would not count against us for a following year? Okay.
No, absolutely not.
And now we're going to open it up. Public comment?
You need to formally open the public hearing.
I'm going to formally open it up for our public hearing here. Anyone who would like to come up to the podium is more than welcome to ask questions, make comments about what you've just heard. For the request of $2 million for the water pipelines and of the Housing Authority there to replace those because of asbestos and aging infrastructure.
I didn't do that good job.
You've done a good job when there's no questions.
Right. No, you're good.
If you'll step up, please. Say your name and your address.
Ashanti Williams, 3740 Dr. Jones Road in Farmville. Okay, my question is, since you found those lines that have asbestos, Is there a solution right now for the families that still have to utilize this water?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, yes, because when I said asbestos cement water lines, that has an instant connotation of, oh man, there's asbestos in the water. There's not, in terms of what's being delivered, there's no asbestos. The piping has an asbestos, fibers that really put it together. So it's in the past, the asbestos cement was used because it was highly resistant to corrosion. And so it was almost preferred 40 years ago because you could put anything in the piping and it wouldn't contaminate. But the negative, as we've learned, is that if somebody hits it, it's very brittle. Heavy loads can run over it, crack it, and then it becomes difficult to repair. And it becomes a safety issue when you're repairing it, because then you are potentially exposed to people working on it are exposed to asbestos. And so that's one of the reasons we want to get rid of it, because it makes it much easier to look after. But this has no impact on the water that you are drinking. No asbestos in the water. But no, great question.
We have another, if you'll step up, Ms. Markham. Say your name and address.
Jamie Markham, 4393 West Church Street. So how was this discovered? And has there been any testing on the water to ensure that there's not asbestos in anything that is being delivered to the households?
Right. The town is required, by the Clean Water Act to test the water, routinely to make sure that it's free of contaminants, volatile organic mechanics, and everything else. And if something is noted, it is discovered in the water, it has to be reported. So that's a good thing, is that if your water is routinely tested, no trace of contaminants, water safety drink complies with all state and federal rules. And, the way we found it was, when we look back at the old as-built drawings for the water lines, it was just labeled as, it was labeled as ductile iron. And, when we knew when we were doing some repairs for some of the things out there, that it wasn't ductile iron, it was asbestos cement. And so, we have identified and inventory where our asbestos lines are. And this is the only area we've got in town. Yeah. And so, there is a larger diameter water line along Marlboro Road, Highway 13 corridor, that's asbestos, that ultimately we would like to get that in place too. But, we do have a good inventory, and, the town has been pretty aggressive about getting rid of the old stuff that's contributing to, where people had complaints of discolored water, where you've seen some brown water sometimes, we've done a lot to get rid of that. So, moving on from that, we're just moving on to getting rid of the old stuff, transitioning it over to stuff that's easier to work on. But, again, water safe. But we do have a very complete inventory of all the material types in town.
And I know you said that routine testing is done, but has testing been done since it's been discovered for that area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done by age, really the housing units, just to make sure. Because, you don't plumbing this too, so that's another thing to check.
Right.
No, perfect.
If you would step up to the mic, thank you. Say your name and your address.
Joanne Morgan, 3736 Dr. Jones Road in Farmville. My question is, since you're doing all this with the water lines for the people out there at the housing, would their water bill go up?
No, this will have no impact.
Because I have a lot of family and elderly people that live out there, and I just want to know how would their bill be?
Yeah, and that's the good thing, because it's 100% grant.
Okay.
So that's the positive. Sometimes communities have to borrow money to pay for new improvements, and you have to pay it back. And when you pay it back, then you got to raise rates to pay the debt service.
Right.
So that's one of the good things we're proposing here.
Okay.
It's 100% grant.
Good.
So no additional cost, no cost investment from the town, no tax dollars from the town, no impact in terms of user rates.
Good.
specific to this.
Oh, so when next year come out towards Dr. Jones Road?
We'll get you.
Anyone else, questions, comments, who would like to come before the board? Okay, so I'm now going to close the public hearing. And now, are there two motions we're asking for? One motion is to approve this and to approve, also to allow me to approve the minutes? Two separate motions?
Yeah.
Which shall we start with?
We should start first with the grant, then we'll do authorizing it to sign.
And I do point out on the resolution, and I don't understand this, but I'm not gonna, it's the golden rule, the state's got the gold, so they're gonna make the rules. The authorizing resolution you've got for this particular program, will authorize, Mayor Joyner to sign the application and application-related documents, but because we are designating the mayor as our authorized representative to sign application documents, the resolution that you've got in your agenda packet has to be signed by the mayor pro tem and not the mayor. And so just point that out. Makes no sense.
So do we have a motion to proceed with approving the grant for the CDBG funding under Title I for the Housing and Community Development Act for $2 million for the Housing Authority for aged water pipes and asbestos water pipes?
Right.
Make a motion, we accept this resolution approving the application for the CDBG grant.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Flanagan. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Excellent. Now do I have a motion to allow Mayor Joyner, myself, to approve the minutes
Of the public hearing.
of the public hearing so that we may move forward with the application ASAP as to not miss the deadline?
Right.
I make a motion that we allow Mayor Joyner to approve the minutes, that we might move forward.
Commissioner Fields has made a motion to allow myself to approve the minutes for this open session or public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you so much.
Much obliged.
Yes.
I'll have 100 papers for you to sign.
I get my stamp ready.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. We are now going to move on to items of consent. We're going to have approval for our minutes from our February 23rd and February 24th, 2026 retreat, as well as our March 2nd regular session of 2026. And then the Recreation Advisory Board appointment of Angela Poitier, and I apologize if I am not saying that correct.
Make a motion, we accept the items for consent.
Yes,
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Prior to the motion. Is Ms. Poitier replacing anyone, or is she just taking an empty position? Do we know?
She is taking an empty position that was relinquished last year by Ray Farrell, and her term will run through June 30th of 2027. So it was a term that was an existing term where the individual, I believe, moved out of town.
Okay. And Angela's, where are you? You out there?
Yeah, she's running the concession stand tonight over.
Okay. Well, she does a good job out there, her and Mary and Bud, so she's very worthy of that position. That's all I just want to ask.
do I have a motion to accept the items of consent as presented?
I believe you had one from Commissioner Flanagan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question.
I got excited.
I make a motion that we approve the items for consent.
Excellent. Commissioner Flanagan has made a motion that we approve the items for consent. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. These items have been approved for consent. Moving on to items for discussion and decision. I'm going to ask Mr. Adrian Dixon to come up here. We're going to first start off with the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding between the historic H.P. Sugg School and the town of Farmville, North Carolina. Mr. Dixon, if you'll come up here and provide the board with an overview here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you again this evening for allowing us to have this space. Pretty much what I'm here to do is just to give you an overview of what we're proposing and why it's important, basically. Pretty much in this MOU, what we want to do, we want to establish a cooperative relationship between the historic H.P. Sugg School and the town of Farmville. And pretty much what we're trying to do, we're trying to designate the support for the renovation for the adaptive reuse of the H.B. Sugg School gymnasium. All right, what we are pretty much asking for is a framework of collaboration and communication as we try to attempt to do this. The why is very important. Why does this matter? What I could really do, I could turn around and look at everybody in here and I could ask who went to H.B. Sugg School, whether it was elementary school, whether it was high school, whether it was the H.B. Sugg daycare, did anything, now I bet you a lot, matter of fact, do you mind if I do that? Anybody has any connection to the H.B. Sugg Community School, could you please stand? Any connection? High school? So this right here kind of shows you why it matters. So when you hear the H.B. Sugg, historic H.B. Sugg School, a lot of times, we just hear the words, we see the center, but I just want you to show you that this is a living, breathing property that is still in use actually, but with this memorandum of understanding, what we're trying to do, we're just trying to get a collaborative effort that specifically says that you all support us, not in a financial sense so much, but a supporting of what we're doing, because what we're trying to add to the community is going to help the youth, it's going to help with educational purposes, it's going to help with seniors, and then bring all of those people together in one space. Because if we're talking about a community, that's what a community is. A community is bringing everyone together and working together for a greater good. And we're going to do that through, and I could have stood up here and talked to y'all about all the programs and services that we're going to offer, but you know who we are, right? You know who we are. So basically what we're asking you for, so when we start going out for grants and philanthropic organizations that want to sow into this, we want to say that the town of Farmville is on board. So this is what this paper says. I went totally off script, but I like to shoot from the heart. Fine. Okay? And the reason I want to shoot from the heart is because you know about H.B. Sugg Community Center. You know it's past time. And we just want to make sure that we're working with you all, have your support, and just make it formal in a memorandum of understanding. That's all we're asking. Do you have any questions, if that's appropriate?
Absolutely. Opening up questions for our commissioners. Any questions? Do I have a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding between the historic H.B. Sugg School Incorporated?
I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Please, sir.
I was trying to form a question. Anyway. So this is, the purpose for this document is that you can say, as you go to other organizations to help with funding, that we have the town's support in our endeavor to rehabilitate this or bring this facility back to service and serve the town of Farmville.
Pretty much. This is something that's not uncommon, especially here in Eastern North Carolina. I actually work with a credit union, and we go to different communities, and those communities, they work hand in hand to get the funds that they need to rehabilitate, readaptive use, right, for a structure that's already in the community, and it's normally in the center of the community, and, it is breaking down, and they need those funds. the city itself may not be, or the county itself may not be able to put the funds in there, but having the collaboration from your town shows that your town is supporting you in this effort to get these funds. So that's all we're asking. It's something that look, we're not doing anything new. We're just asking for Farmville, because everybody in here, they're here because they want to hear about this community and they're trying to pour into this community. We're just trying to do the same, but we want to do it officially. So when we go and write those grant letters, we want to say that the town of Farmville supports us. When y'all tell us about grants that are coming up and, kind of helping us out, we already have this in writing. That's all we're asking for.
So, do you have grant writers sort of on staff and all that, or is that something you're going to look to the town to do?
Well, see, here's the thing. We would love the town to assist us in that. We have our Pursue grant. However, we do need the ability to have the town's resources as far as knowledge, right, and expertise to point us in the right direction.
Is that something we're capable, prepared to do? I mean, doesn't Mr. Moore do most of our grant writing?
Well, it depends on the type of grant. He does a lot of infrastructure grants through the state, but we do have other members on staff that have written grants before. I've done a few grants. Christopher Horgan has done a few grants. A lot of it, I think, outside of even just the grant writing, is the ability to find a lot of these grants. A lot of times there will be grants that are made available through email listservs that various departments may find out about. So I think a lot of this MOU is just opening up that line of communication. If somebody from the town sees an opportunity that may be relevant to HB-SUG, just having that line of communication. I don't think the intent of this MOU is to necessarily say the town has to provide the grant writing services, but I think if there's an opportunity that presents itself, I think the MOU is essentially saying that the town will work, in good faith with HB-SUG to identify grant opportunities, and if we have the capacity to assist them with that.
Any other questions from our commissioners? Do we have a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding between historic HB-SUG School Incorporated and the town of Farmville as slated?
Motion to accept the MOU.
Commissioner Fields has made a motion to accept the MOU as stated. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Miss. I'm excited about this. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for your time.
And now to our next item, rescheduling our regular July Board Commissioners meeting to June 22nd, 2026. Due to our July 4th holiday, we generally move this to a previous or post date. I'll turn over to Town Manager Oakes for more information.
And that is correct, Mayor. And I did want to provide an update. After this was sent out, I spoke with Amy from a finance perspective. The way the calendar falls, basically we have to make sure that we have everything reconciled on the budget side, and that's adopted by June the 30th of each year. And so what we had done last year based off the 4th of July schedule, we had met, I believe it was on June the 23rd of last year. However, in talking with Amy, if the board would be amenable, we would actually like to look at potentially adjusting that from the June 22nd that was in your agenda packet to the following Monday, which would be June the 29th. That would give us more than enough time to make sure that we had everything squared away for that year-end budget amendment, and would also continue to allow us to avoid any conflicts with the 4th of July holiday. So if the board would allow, we'd like to entertain the idea of adjusting this from June 22nd to having the regular July meeting on June the 29th of 2026.
Questions for our commissioners? Feedback on the date of the 29th?
No, I think it's appropriate.
That's good.
Do we have a motion to move forward with the rescheduled July board meeting to the June 29th, 2026? Do I have a motion?
I motion we proceed and change it to the 29th.
Commissioner Wainwright, excuse me, I'm sorry. Commissioner Wainwright has made a motion that we moved our July board meeting to June 29th. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. June 29th will be our official July meeting. Next is our regular September board meeting, Board of Commissioners meeting on August 24th, 2026.
Yes, so the first Monday in September is always Labor Day, which is a holiday for the town. So traditionally what the town has done is adjusted the September board meeting to the final Monday in August. In this case this year, that would have the meeting on Monday, August the 31st of 2026.
So it's the 31st rather than the 24th is in the agenda, I thought.
31st or the 24th?
So our packet says 24th. 31st would be 7
Sorry, my
days.
apologies, yes, it would be the Monday the 31st. Yeah, 31st.
So we are looking at to reschedule the September board meeting to August 31st. Questions, comments from our commissioners? Do I have a motion to accept rescheduling our September board commissioners meeting to August 31st, 2026?
Motion to reschedule to August 31.
Commissioner Smith has made a motion to accept that August 31st rescheduling for our September board meeting. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. We have rescheduled to August 31st for our September board meeting. Next is the amendment to the interlocal full tax collection agreement between Pitt County and the town of Farmville, North Carolina. I'm going to turn it over to Town Manager Oaks for those comments.
Thank you. This was one of the items that was added to the agenda this evening. Russell Hill, who's the tax administrator for Pitt County, he come over and met with Amy and I back in February just to go over things and just kind of talk about the agreement that we have. And then following our meeting, Mr. Hill had gone in and did updates to the interlocal agreement that the town has. Now, back in 2020, the town entered into an interlocal agreement with Pitt County to collect the ad valorem taxes for the town. And so the amendment that's made here is not going to make any substantial change to the agreement that we currently have. This was just to clean up and have some more uniform language, I believe, among the agreements that they have with other communities across the county in which they handle tax collection services for. Really the only change addition there would be updating language regarding annexation, essentially just providing a deadline that which the town would need to notify the Pitt County Tax Office in regards to any annexation that takes place. Other than that, it's just a matter of cleaning up some language that's included in. They will continue to not only collect the taxes, ad valorem taxes for the town effective the date July 1st, 2026 moving forward, but will also collect any back taxes going back to the agreement date that the town entered into back July 1 of 2020.
Opening up for questions, comments from our commissioners. Do we have a motion to accept the amendment for the interlocal full tax collection agreement between Pitt County and the town of Farmville, North Carolina?
Motion to accept the amendment.
Commissioner Smith has made a motion to accept this amendment. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Amendment passes. So now we get to our citizens' comments. Anyone is welcome to step up to our podium today to ask any questions about what you have heard at tonight's meeting. Please come up if you would like to state your name and your address, and feel free to address the board. Okay. Seeing none and hearing none from our audience. So next, we need a motion. We're going to go into closed session for the board here to discuss personnel matters. So I need a motion from our commissioners to go into this closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A6.
Make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Oklahoma General Statute personnel matters.
Commissioner Flanagan has made a motion to go into closed session. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. We will enter into closed session. We will ask everyone that this is the end of this meeting for now. We will go into closed session, so we will ask that you do head out those doors. There will be an opportunity to come back in so that we can just do adjournment. But we appreciate you joining us here today, and thank you so much for supporting it.